Whoa, you guys, 2024 was one wild ride, am I right? And I'm not just talking about, like, the crazy stuff that happens on Twitter. I'm talking about Mother Nature unleashing some serious fury in the form of tornadoes. We had everything from an EF3 tornado in Nebraska that tore through a manufacturing plant to a train conductor who found himself staring down the barrel of a monster twister. This year, the cameras were rolling, and people caught some truly incredible and honestly terrifying footage of these storms. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a whirlwind tour of 2024's most astonishing tornado footage. Now, we all know tornadoes can hit anywhere in the world, but Indonesia, that's not exactly what comes to mind when you think Tornado Alley. But this year, the impossible happened. The city of Sumone, with over 1 million people, got slammed by the strongest tornado they've ever recorded. Imagine this. You're going about your day, maybe grabbing some street food, when out of nowhere, the sky turns an angry green, the wind picks up, and this massive EF3 twister comes roaring through. Thankfully, even though over 100 buildings got wrecked, and more than 30 people got hurt, nobody died. It was a real wake-up call for the folks in Sumone, showing them that even in paradise, you gotta be ready for anything Mother Nature throws your way. Back in the good old US of A, things weren't looking much better. April 26th, mark your calendars, folks, because that's when Iowa and Nebraska got hammered by a whole outbreak of tornadoes. One twister, an EF3 beast, near Harlan, Iowa, decided to go for a joyride, carving a 41-mile scar across the countryside. And you know there's always some brave soul out there chasing these storms, right? Well, this time we got footage from a storm chaser who got up close and personal with this monster as it ripped across Highway 44. This thing was packing winds of 160 miles per hour, which is like faster than a cheetah on Red Bull. Homes, businesses, everything in its path got flattened. It's heartbreaking to see the destruction left behind and the long road to recovery these communities face. Speaking of Nebraska, Lancaster County got a taste of the chaos too. An EF3 tornado decided to pay a visit to a place called Garner Industries, a manufacturing plant, and let me tell you, it did not go well for the building. Picture this. You're in your car just leaving work, maybe thinking about what's for dinner, when bam! A tornado slams into the building right next to you. Well, thankfully, someone's dashcam caught the whole terrifying moment on video. The building, or what was left of it, looked like a giant had stomped on it. It's amazing that anyone survived, but here's the miracle. All 70 workers inside managed to escape with just a few scratches. Train conductor in Nebraska. Now imagine this. You're driving a train. Just you and your buddy, minding your own business, when all of a sudden, you see a monster EF4 tornado heading straight for you. That's exactly what happened to a couple of brave railroaders in Blair, Nebraska. This thing was a beast, and it tossed those train cars around like they were toys. These guys rode out the storm in the engine car, which thankfully held up against the twister's fury. But the rest of the train? Not so lucky. 31 cars were derailed, scattered across the tracks like a kid's train set after a tantrum. China's rare tornadoes. On April 27th, a powerful EF3 tornado decided to pay a visit to Gwangju, a city with more people than the entire country of Australia. This twister touched down in the middle of the city, and it caused absolute chaos. Buildings were shaking, power lines were snapping, and the wind was so strong it picked up debris and hurled it through the air like missiles. And as if a tornado wasn't bad enough, Gwangju was already dealing with some serious flooding from days of heavy rain. So, this tornado just added insult to injury, making a bad situation even worse. The flooding and the tornado damage forced over 100,000 people out of their homes. Hurricanes and tornadoes in Florida. In October, Hurricane Milton came barreling in, and it wasn't messing around. It brought with it a whopping 19 tornadoes. Talk about adding insult to injury, right? One of these twisters, an EF3, decided to wreak havoc in Palm Beach Gardens. This thing was packing winds of 140 miles per hour, and it tore through homes and businesses like it was nothing. One resident actually caught the whole thing on camera as it headed straight for his house. You can see the wind whipping around, the trees bending over, and then, BAM! The tornado slams into his house, shattering windows and ripping off parts of the roof. It's a good thing he got out of there when he did. Outrow nature's raw power, a reminder and a call to action. Man, 2024 was a wild ride, wasn't it? From Indonesia to Iowa, China to Florida, these tornadoes left a trail of destruction in their wake. It's a stark reminder that no matter where you live, no matter how safe you think you are, Mother Nature can always throw you a curveball. But you know what else these videos showed us? They showed us the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Time and time again, we saw people coming together to help their neighbors, rebuild their communities, and overcome adversity. So, let's all take a moment to appreciate the power of nature, both its beauty and its fury.